So welcome to part 3 of the balloon shooter tutorial. This time we're going to set the question for the player and see if they've shot the correct balloon. So I'm going to go to Game Center and I need a scene behavior. So click here and I'm just going to call it question and create. Now, when the scene's created, first thing we need to set up some attributes. Now, one local attribute, just here, under getters, not a game attribute, here, is going to be the score, and that's a number. Now, under setters, as the scene starts, we're going to set the score to 0. Then I'm going to make a new function for setting a new question. So I'm going to messaging, and for current scene, make sure you're under current scene and tell this to, I'm going to call it set question. And if we've set a function, we're calling a function, we need to receive. So when this here's exactly the same, set question. And this is where we need some more attributes. So I'm going here and I'm just going to make these game attributes. They can be accessed by any actor or any scene. So creating new ones here. So one is number 1, it's a number, and this one is number 2, which is a number, and these are the two numbers that we are adding. So just going to set number 1 and set number 2, and they're going to be randomly generated numbers. So going to number and text, and this is a very simple game, so it's going to be a number between 0 and 5. The highest number on our balloons was 10, so we can't go above 10. So number 1 will be between 0 and 5, and number 2 will be between 0 and 5. And this is our set question function. Now in always, we're starting off with an if, and what we need to do now is check if number 1 plus number 2 is the same as the balloon that was shot. Let me take you back to balloon float, and this attribute, shot number. This is the number that's on the balloon that the user has shot. So back to question, and we're checking here if these are equal, and I want to know, I'm going to number here, I'm going to add, I want to know if number 1 plus number 2 is the same as the number on the balloon. So let's go to attributes. So if number 1 plus number 2 is the same as shot number, just remind you again, shot number is the number that was on the balloon, this number that was randomly generated in the beginning. So if number 1 plus number 2 is the same as the number shot on the balloon, then we're going to increase the score. So under numbers, we are just coming down the list and looking for increment to increase. So I'm going to increment the score by 1. So score has gone up, and now we need a new question, a new number 1 and a new number 2. So I'm just going to call this function here. So messaging for current scene, and tell this to set question. Now all of this is okay for the computer, just going to save, but the player has no idea what number 1 and number 2 is. We haven't shown them this. So I need to use my drawing block and show what those are. So let's just start off with drawing. First I'm going to show them the score. So I'm going to write the word score, and these coordinates are for the screen. I'm just going to do 10, 10. And then I need to draw the score attribute here under getters, and I need to kind of line this up. So I'm going to try 65 across and 10 down, so it should say the word score, and here it will give the score number. Next we need to know which two numbers I have to add. So again, back to drawing and draw text, and I'm going to get a few of these out. One tip: if you know you're going to need something, you can drag the block out ready. So I'm going back to attributes, game attributes, and I know that I need to show number 1, and I'm going to put it at about 280, 440. This is near the bottom of the screen. So number 1 will be shown there, and then I'm going to put in addition sign next to that, so around 300 and 440. And next to that one I'm going to be putting number 2. And I'm just going to place number 2 at 320, 440. So this needs to be attached to the scene, sky. Okay, a save, and let's test. So it's asking for 4 plus 4 down here. Score is on 0. So I'm waiting for a balloon with number 8 to appear. And now we have only 3 balloons. That might take a while. So I think I'm going to come out of here, and what I want to do next is go to the scene, and let's have another red balloon, another blue balloon, and another yellow balloon, and test this. So 3 plus 1 is 4. You can see that my crosshair is behind some of the balloons, which isn't very good. Can still shoot it, but not really, doesn't look very good. So I'm going to close that to fix that problem. On the scene here you can see we've got layers. I'm going to put a new layer, so this layer 1 is on top, and my crosshair I'm going to bring to front. Now my crosshair is on layer 1, and all my balloons are on layer 0. Crosshairs on layer 1, so it will be on top. So save and test. So 2 plus 4 I'm looking for, there's 6. 0 plus 5, I'm waiting for 5. There's 5. 1 plus 1, there's 2. 4 plus 0, so I'll be waiting for 4. There's a 4. And 4 plus 0 again, 4. 2 plus 4, so I'll be waiting for 6 to come up. Now we can see some of these balloons are taking a little while to regenerate. There's 6, and 0 plus 0. Now we may not be able to get 0 on the balloon. Let me just close this and check our code. I think in balloon float, yes, we just started with random number between 1 and 10. So we can go back and change this to 0 in each location, in case that 0 answer comes up again. So just save and test. Have another look at it. 2 plus 1, so I'm waiting for 3 to come. Now, by the way, you can shoot these other balloons. There's no penalty for shooting the wrong answer. You could change the code, perhaps to make it subtract 1 if you do shoot the wrong answer. And there are lots of other modifications you could make to make it more enjoyable. You could have an animated balloon when it bursts, or include a sound effect, but I'll leave those things up to you. So for now, that's pretty much the basics of the game, and look forward to seeing what you come up with, how you can make this better, more enjoyable.